just one of those days. Yesterday was like that. They say yesterday was a real tricky day. Yesterday was the day. Yesterday was a real tricky day. It was a tricky day, a tricky day. Yesterday was a real tricky day. Yesterday was a day. Yesterday was a real tricky day. It was a tricky day, tricky day. Well, top down screwed. The hurricane, wait a minute, let me say that. Grandma. Either that or the cat from MIT's dumb, I don't know. But according to this folk knowledge, stuff goes away. So when bad stuff happens in Haiti, and all of a sudden all this bad stuff, I'm thinking in the next 100 years they got a lot of good energy happening, right? They're gonna have some nice new houses, and they're gonna have new jobs and some business, and everything is gonna be beautiful. And you can pass the bucket for Haiti. That's what we're hoping and praying. Keep that in your thoughts, man. And when stuff happens to you, just remember. Today's a little bit better. At least I know I can cry. And when I get through this, you know I'm gonna be a whole lot wiser. Yesterday was a real tricky day. Yesterday was the day. Yesterday was a real tricky day. It was a tricky day, tricky day. I say yesterday was a real tricky day. Yesterday was the day. Yesterday was a real tricky day. It was a tricky, 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 tricky day. Yesterday was a real tricky day. Yesterday was the day. Yesterday was a real tricky day. It was a tricky day, tricky, 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 tricky day. Yesterday was a real tricky day. Yesterday was a real tricky day. Yesterday was a real tricky day. It was a tricky, tricky, Thank you very much. Mahalo, as they say in Hawaii. Thank you. Yeah.